अगर नहीं हो रहा है तो वो कम से कम अभी स्ट्रीमिंग शुरू हो गया. Okay. Now share this link into the
Chat also.
Chat also, and to me also immediately I will say mail and SMS. Yes. 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 Yeah. WhatsApp. Better. Yes.
So there is no issue. We are in the same channel. Everyone will get. When they click on that, they will come. No,
म्यूट मार के देखो ना, आओ जल्दी. म्यूट एक क्लिक करना.
The student was awarded with the President's Award, which
Hello. Hello. Hello.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah.
Hello.
Okay, there I am. All right, I'm here.
Yes, sir.
All right. Who will be introducing me today? Who would be introducing me? Hello? Hello? Hello?
Hello, sir.
Hello? Are you there?
Mr. Shiv.
Hello?
Yes, sir.
Anybody on the phone?
Sir, are you able to hear me, sir?
Well, can you speak a little louder?
Yeah. Are you able to hear me, sir?
Yeah. Can you hear me now?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I can hear you also.
Yeah, your audio is very clear, sir.
All right, all right. And who will be introducing me?
Caleb, a student of class 11, sir. Yes, sir. Caleb, a student of class 11, will be introducing you.
Okay.
So, would you like to share your screen and test it, or would you be showing any presentation, sir?
I have no presentation.
Okay.
I'll just be speaking myself here.
Oh, okay, sir. Okay. Yeah. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. We will be starting our program shortly, sir.
Okay, okay. And
Okay.
the
Good evening, sir. Apologies for the technical delay. Distinguished guest, Mr. Shiv Khera, Honorable Chairman, Board of Directors, Indian Schools in the Sultanate of Oman, Dr. Baby Sam Samble, and members on the board. Mr. Ajay Kumar Pillai, President, Indian School Muscat Management Committee. Members of Indian School Muscat Management Committee, our beloved Principal, Dr. Rajiv Kumar Chauhan, Presidents and members of all Indian School Management Committees in the Sultanate of Oman, respected Principals, Vice Principals, Assistant Vice Principals, Supervisors, Coordinators, Heads of Departments, Teachers, Parents and Students. Good evening. I am Caleb Biju Matthew of Class 11D from Indian School Muscat, your host this evening. Stay tuned with us till the close of the session. As a token of goodwill and gesture, 3 of our participants today will receive Mr. Shiv Khera's autograph books from Sir's office. You can win, you can achieve more, you can sell. Avenue 2020, launched by Indian School Muscat under the aegis of the Board of Directors, Indian Schools in the Sultanate of Oman, a comprehensive project designed to enhance the knowledge of available career paths and take tangible next steps towards our goals, is here for us. Adding color to this 9-day virtual jamboree is the motivational speeches of renowned personalities from across the globe. A few minutes from now, we are going to witness one such eminent personality's inspiring words. We feel privileged at the generosity bestowed upon us, the Indian diaspora, by the benevolent His Majesty Sultan Haytham bin Tariq, and the air of benign warmth we experience in Oman we call home. Our fervent prayers for the good health of His Majesty Sultan Haytham bin Tariq and the prosperity of this magnificent nation and its affable people. On account of the 50th National Day of Oman, we extend our heartfelt greetings to His Majesty and this beautiful nation. I am extremely honored to welcome Dr. Baby Sam Samble, Chairman, Board of Directors, Indian Schools in Oman, members of the Board of Directors of Indian Schools in Oman, Mr. Ajay Kumar Pillai, President, Indian School Muscat Management Committee, members of Indian School Muscat Management Committee, our respected Principal, Dr. Rajiv Kumar Chauhan, Presidents and esteemed members of all Indian School Management Committees in the Sultanate of Oman, respected Principals, Vice Principals, Assistant Vice Principals, Supervisors, Coordinators, Heads of Departments, Teachers, Parents and Students. We live in an era of possibilities, where even in the face of adversities, are we able to perceive opportunities. This beautiful day, when we meet virtually, exemplifies the very notion that the sky is the limit and nothing can deter us when we have set our hearts to realize our dreams. I quote our much sought after speaker, "Winners see the gain, losers see the pain," unquote. He who faced many a pitfall and struggled in his life has still emerged successful to achieve his dream by dint of his determined effort. One of the most talented and top motivational writers in the world, his very life is a testimony to inspiration and motivation. From a small village in India to the foreign shores of America, his journey has been a tale of stuffs that dreams are made of. Mr. Shiv Khera, having done over 100 webinars during this lockdown, over 1 million people have logged into Mr. Khera's live webinars across the globe. Some of the recent events have been hosted by CII, Consulate General of India in New York, Consulate General of India in Canada, ICAI Singapore, NHS UK, and many more. Mr. Shiv Khera has offered his 11 cardinal rules for business success, complimentary for all participants who wish to download. The link will appear in the description box towards the end of this webinar. Yes. Ashtami Tayal Rajesh of class 11D for that astounding video. That was Mr. Shiv Khera, the personality who has been engaging millions of people with his powerful words. Let's lend our ears to Turn Setbacks into Comebacks from Mr. Shiv Khera. Over to you, sir. Sir, you're muted. Sir? Sir, you're muted, sir. No, sir, we can't hear you.
Unmute.
Sir, can you please unmute? Sir, can you please unmute? Click on the audio button.
Please tell, sir, you please unmute, yes.
Sir, please unmute.
So your audio is unmuted.
Sir, your audio is unmuted. Yes.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes, sir, we can hear you.
Yeah, good evening, sir.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, that's good. That's good. Can you hear me all right now?
Sir, yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
I must say, this young man, your enthusiasm was so wonderful. I'm grateful to you, sir, for your kind words. Thank you very much. And well, the Indian School of Upskilling and the president, Mr. Pillai, and Chairman, Dr. Devi Samuel, and all the I'm grateful that you have invited me for the career fair today. And I participated about a few minutes before the fair. And this is a very for all students and parents to make lifetime decision. Many universities are pulling people to Australia, UK, everywhere, they're all over. So it's a lifetime decision. So anyway, I wish everybody great success. But let me share with you how I took this title as Turn Setbacks into Comebacks, because in my own life, I've had 3 major setbacks where I went into a minus. Minus means minus. I'm not that educated. I'm a BCom 3rd division. I failed in my 10th. That's my academics. I come from a business family. We had coal mines in India, close to 1,000 people working. But the mines got nationalized. The government took over. And I didn't create the mines. I inherited them. And right from being a mine owner, I came on the street means street means street. Some families had money. Our family did not. My father had died when I was just about in college. We were left with the liabilities and the assets were gone. And I was married just 4 weeks then. And I remember a year later, my daughter was born. And I sold some of the last pieces of my mother's jewelry to get released from the hospital. I did not have $10 to buy milk that night. Well, I tried my hands on 3 businesses with no money, and I failed in all 3. Finally, November 13, 1975, I left India, went to US, initially went to Toronto, and started life with a bucket in my hand, washing cars door to door. For about a year and a half, I was on the street washing cars. Then totally by accident, I got into selling life insurance, which in my opinion was the best thing that ever happened to me in my life. But within 3 months, my manager called me to fire me for non-performance. But now from here, my journey starts. What were the turning points thereafter? How I started hitting $1 million policies, moved on to the US, got into 3 businesses, eventually bought out a company out of California in 1984, started a New Jersey operation with no clients, and I sold my company for a decent sum. This is the learning that I'm going to share. And the reason I share this is because, you see, every school and every college today, they teach their students and they teach their kids, and every parents teach their kids how to win and succeed, how to win and succeed, how to win and succeed. But this is one flaw I feel. Life is a seesaw. Life is a seesaw. Life is a roller coaster. You see, you always don't go up and up and up and up and up. You have to go up and down and up and down and up and down. Are you with me, my friend? You have to go up and down. But we have taught our kids only to go up, only to go up, only to succeed and only to win. But life is not that way. And when there's a setback in life, because our kids have only learned to see success and win, they have not seen failures in life. And because they've not seen failures, they go into depression, they go into drugs, they commit suicide. This is true all over the world. Are you with me? They have not learned that life always doesn't go up in life. We must learn how to win, and we must learn how to take a failure in life too, because life always doesn't go that way. This is a very, very important thing that every parent, every teacher, we need to teach our kids. That we must learn how to take a failure in life, because failure is bound to come. And if we don't know how to handle it, we commit suicide, we go into drugs, we go into depression, and that is sad. It doesn't work that way. Okay, now, this corona crisis has gone from one city to another, overcrowded hospitals, factories are closing, orders are closing, unemployment going up, death rate going up. This scenario has literally shaken up the whole world. Now, because of that, it has caused a lot of uncertainty. And the uncertainty has led to insecurity. And the insecurity has caused stress. Are you with me, my friend? The insecurity has caused stress, anxiety, frustration, depression, and even anger. Some people are mad and angry right now. Now, all I can say is, folks, keep in mind, stress is both normal and natural. I repeat, stress is both normal and natural. Anybody who says they have no stress, they belong into the lunatic asylum. They're mad. You see, somebody said, laughter is a good medicine. But if you keep laughing permanently for no reason, then you need medicine, man. You need medical treatment. So we need to understand that. Now, you see, folks, all stress is not bad. The athlete at the Olympics, is he under stress? Answer is yes. If he was not under stress, there's no way he can perform. Now, I'll share with you an example that I feel is most appropriate, because have you seen in the movies or in the real life that the thoroughbreds race course, at the race course, the thoroughbreds horses, when they are taken into the cabin for racing, how are they going in? Are they going casually like this? No, they're all going, jumping like this. You know, they are going like this. Why are they doing this? They're under very heavy stress. And the moment they are put into the cabin and the bell rings, bang, they perform, they shoot. Now that's a thoroughbred. But you take a jackass to the race course. This jackass walks so relaxed, comfortable, cool. He's not jumping like the thoroughbreds. But then he will remain a jackass and he will never perform like a thoroughbred either. Now, this sentence is very important. Folks, stress is the price we pay to be a thoroughbred in life. I repeat, English language. Stress is the price we pay to be a thoroughbred in life. If you want to be a thoroughbred, there will be stress. Okay, now, folks, all of us can handle stress. What we cannot handle is chronic stress. Are you with me? All of us can handle stress. But what we cannot handle is chronic stress. When stress becomes chronic, that is the time we start breaking down. Yep, true. That's the time we break down. Now, all I can say is that think about it. How come under the same set of circumstances, some people break records while others break themselves? How come? Identical circumstances. How come some people break records while others break themselves? How come? Now, important thing is, folks, let us not overrate this crisis and threat, and let us not underrate our strength to fight and win. I repeat one more time. Let us not overrate this crisis and threat, and let us not underrate our strength to fight and win. Now, this crisis has impacted us three ways. One, our life. Two, livelihood. Three, our lifestyle. I repeat, it has impacted us three ways: our life, two, livelihood, three, our lifestyle. How has that impacted our life? None of us know who will be in quarantine next. Nobody knows. Interesting. Nobody knows who will be in quarantine next. One. And number two, what we do and where we go and who we meet could be a matter of life and death. Are you with me? What we do, where we go, and who we meet could be a matter of life and death. That's life. Now, how has that impacted our livelihood? All over the world, there are salary cuts, job cuts, businesses are closing. Some have closed permanently. In New York, about 40% of restaurants have closed permanently, gone forever, gone. Even governments are closing, or going bankrupt. They're not collecting any taxes either. But one important thing is happening is, who are the people who are worst hit? You see, there are three kinds of people in every society. One is the super rich, two, the mediocre, and three, the poor. The poor are the worst hit because they're the daily wage earners. They work during the day, eat in the evening. They're the worst hit. Now let us talk of the super rich. Super rich, they don't have a cash flow problem. They don't have a livelihood problem. I was just reading. Apple Computers has $250 billion in cash reserve. They don't have a money problem. How can they have a money problem? And I was just reading also the Mukesh Ambani, in the last 6 months has increased his net worth by $22 billion. He is making money at 90 crores per hour. Now, these guys obviously don't have a cash flow problem. Now comes the mediocre people like me and possibly some of the listeners. The mediocre people are thinking, will the crisis finish before the money, or will the money finish before the crisis? Are you with me? They're the ones who are thinking like that. Now, all I can say is every few years, a new buzzword comes in. A few years ago, 7, 8, 10 years ago, it was startup. Everybody was starting up. Then it came Make in India, Make in India, Make in India. Everyone's making India. Whether it worked or not, who knows? Nobody knows how successful they are. But now the new word is work from home, work from home, work from home. Now, interesting thing is that maybe in some industries like IT, you could possibly work from home. But let me ask you, how can you work from home in a construction industry? How can you do it? You tell me, can you do it? Answer is no. How can you work from home in a manufacturing industry? How can you do it? You can't. I had a banker visit me the other day, and he said to me, Mr. Khera, we're working from home. I said, how can you justify paying salaries to these people? Are you getting the productivity and output? Are you getting the right output? Khalid, right? Am I right, sir? Your name is Khalid? Khalid, And here is what this gentleman said. He said, Mr. Khera, the 80-20 rule applies. The 80-20 rule applies. And the 80-20 rule says, sir, only 20% of people are mature, who are responsible, who can work without supervision. But 80% people are not mature. They can't work without supervision. And two, even if you give them measurable targets, they still need supervision. And interesting thing is, people who are not mature, they think working from home is a paid vacation. It's not. It's not. So working from home, how much will it apply? How much can it apply? Will it work for long haul? Will it not? In my opinion, I don't think we can go to that model, but maybe it can be a little blended, but I don't think it can take over completely anyway. Okay, now coming to the next side, the third part is our lifestyle. Life, livelihood, lifestyle. Now, till now, Khalid, till now, all of us were in the fast lane. We were all running. We had no time. We had no time. Look at the fallacy. The amount of time-saving devices we have today, we have never had that many in history. And yet, we have no time. What a joke. Now, you know why we don't have time? Because somewhere we messed up our priorities. And I'm not giving lectures here. I'm guilty myself. I made those mistakes. I lost my priority too. But interesting thing is, whenever we mess up our priorities, we forget to distinguish between what's urgent in life and what's important in life. Urgent may or may not be important, and important may or may not be urgent. But the interesting thing is, whenever we ignore what is important, it always converts into urgent. See, health is important. It's not urgent. Exercising every day is important, but it's not urgent. Now, if I have a crucial meeting tonight and I cannot exercise, it's not the end of the world. But if I ignore my health long enough, guess what happens? I will land up in the hospital. And come back here. You ignore what is important, it converts into urgent. See, in life, relationships are important, but they're not urgent. But if you ignore relationship long enough, guess what happens? You start talking through your lawyers. Are you with me? You start talking through your lawyers. Interesting thing is, whenever we ignore what is important, it always converts into urgent. So now what this crisis has done is, it has made people step backwards to reevaluate the priorities. You ask people, why do you go to work? I go to work for my family. Why do you work hard? I work hard for my family. Who are the most important people in your life? My family. Who are the most neglected? Also my family. What a joke. The most important people many times become the most neglected too. It's sad, but that is true. Now, what this crisis has done is, it has forced people to step backwards to reevaluate their priorities. And they said, till now, we were running all right, but check, were we running in the right direction? Because if you're not running in the right direction, you're going the wrong direction, you are going away from your goals in life. And now people have realized that in life, direction is much more important than speed. Are you with me? Khalid, hear this. This is very important. You want to take this message tonight to everybody in Muscat and Oman there, that listen, in life, direction is much more important than speed. Are you with me? Okay.
Yes.
And one more thing. People have started realizing the priorities. And these are values that we are talking of giving to our kids as a parent or a teacher. And till now, we kept hearing the cash is king. We used to hear cash is king, cash is king, cash is king. But did we ever understand what is the meaning of cash is king? Till now, when the crisis came in, now people have realized that it is better to have money in the bank than to have 50 shirts in your closet. It is better to have money in the bank than to have a car worth $250,000. Khalid, where are you? Stay here on the window somewhere. I'd like to talk to you. Yeah, stay here. Okay, so important thing is that is where now they have understood what is the meaning of cash is king. Now, you see, the only two examples in history that have come in of similar situation. One was the Spanish flu. You people might have heard enough of it. I'm not going to talk about it. But the second was the Great Depression of 1929. Banks failed, stock market crashed, $100 became $15, and 15 million people in the US were unemployed. Now, 15 million then is equivalent to 50 million today because the population in the US at that time was only 120 million. Now, look at this. What is the silver lining? Right now in US alone, there are 50 million people unemployed only in the US. Now, what is the silver lining? Khalid, the silver lining is this, that experience shows that whenever unemployment goes up, self-employment always goes up. I repeat one more time. Whenever unemployment goes up, self-employment always goes up. Now, during that great crisis, depression, when people had no money, no education, no technology, no risk-taking ability, but there were some people who started their enterprise there at that time. And today they are household words in the US. But they had one thing. They were solution-focused people. You know something? There are some people who are problem focused. You know what that means, Khalid? It means you give them a solution, they'll give you a problem. They have a problem for every solution. And Henry Ford said, kick them out. Hear this. Henry Ford said, kick them out, kick them out. Wasn't that stupid? Okay. Now, I'm going to share with you only 3 examples. One was a man by the name of George Jenkins. In his neighborhood, he started an outlet for non-perishable durable goods. These 2 words are very important. Non-perishable, because if they perish, it'll be total loss. Durable means if they couldn't sell, at least the family could use it because they had no risk-taking ability. This is how he started. And today, his turnover is $30 billion. Net worth $6 billion. He has 1,000 outlets in the US, and the store name is called Public Supermarket. You guys are good with technology. Go Google it. Second example was 2 brothers in California, Gallo brothers. They were struggling, but they caught hold of some grape-made wine out of it, but nobody had the money to buy the wine. They started selling the wine at 50% below market. This is how they started. And today, Gallo Wineries accounts for 25% of fine trade in the US, and the valuations are close to $10 to $12 billion. Third example, a man by the name of Simplot had a patch of land in Idaho, cultivated potatoes. Now, what he couldn't sell, they ate. What he couldn't eat started rotting. So he couldn't afford the loss of rotten potatoes. So he started freezing them. And today, he accounts for 33% of the French fries business in the US, and valuation is close to $10 to $12 billion. Now, why am I sharing all this with you? I don't want to leave my listeners with one message that you and I start a business and all of us become billionaires. That is not the message at all. Folks, all these people who achieved whatever heights they did, they were in deep trouble. They had major problems, but they were solution-focused people. And today, all of us need to become solution-focused one more time. I want to repeat the sentence that I said before. How come under the same set of circumstances, some people break records while others break themselves? How come? Think about it. Okay, now, I just want to share with you some steps. How do we overcome the crisis? How do we overcome the stress? And that is what we are all facing today, but how do we overcome it? So I'm going to share with you, I have 9 steps. I don't think I have the time to do it because of the time constraints, but I'm going to cover at least 3 or 4 of them. Maybe when I meet you in person sometime, I'll be there and I'll go over all 9. But here is step 1. Step 1. I'll go slow. If you want to note them down, please do so. 1. The first step is called the serenity prayer. Folks, about 45 years ago, I attended a program by Dr. Norman Vincent Peale, the man who wrote the book Power of Positive Thinking. There were about 1,000 people. I was one of them. Dr. Peale came in, looked at everybody, and he said, "You people appear so relaxed, comfortable here. It appears nobody has a problem here." Then he asked, "Does anybody have a problem here?" Everybody raised their hand. "Yeah, we all have a problem. Who doesn't have a problem?" Then he asked, "How many people would like to get rid of their problem?" Again, everybody raised their hand. Then Dr. Peale said, "While coming here, I came across a place where I saw some people lying down, all stretched out, comfortable, totally relaxed. They had no problem whatsoever. How many people would like to know where that place is?" Again, everybody raised their hand. Then Dr. Peale said, 2 blocks away from here, there is a cemetery. 2 blocks away from here, there's a cemetery. There are people lying there, all stretched out, comfortable, totally relaxed. They have no problem whatsoever. Then he asked, how many people would like to get rid of the problem? Nobody raised their hand. Everybody put their hand in their pocket. And that day, Dr. Peale said, remember, problem is a sign of life. So long as we are alive, we shall have problems. The day we don't have problem, we'd be dead. And when you're running short of problem, that is the time to get on your knees, pray to God. If you stop trusting me anymore, send me some problems. And that day he gave a prayer. It is called the serenity prayer. And in the last 45 years, I have never left my home without my prayer. And I've come across a lot of adversities. And this has helped me tremendously. And it goes like this. God grant me the serenity to accept the things that I cannot change, and courage to change the things that I can, and wisdom to know the difference, what I can and what I cannot. I repeat one more time. God grant me the serenity to accept the things that I cannot change, and courage to change the things that I can, and wisdom to know the difference, what I can and what I cannot. Now, if you analyze and dissect this little prayer, it is the gist of life. God grant me the serenity to accept the things that I cannot change. Now, let me ask you, can we change everything in this world the way we want it? Answer is no. Do we control everything the way we want to and manipulate the way we want it? No. There are many things beyond us, such as, I didn't choose my parents, neither did you. I didn't decide where I was going to be born, and neither did you. If this is my height and the color of my skin, there's nothing I can do about it. And granted, sometimes people are born deformed. Sometimes bad things happen to good people for no fault of their own. What wrong did they do? Who knows? How did this corona crisis come? I don't know. But it's here. So it says, what I cannot change, let me accept it graciously, not grudgingly. Because many times in life, we keep fighting the things we just cannot change, and we bring stress into our lives, and we become paralyzed, and we become unproductive. So it says, what I cannot change, let me accept it graciously, not grudgingly. And if I can change, then give me the courage and guts to do it, and wisdom to know what I can and what I cannot. Now, Khalid, when I wrote my book, new book, You Can Achieve More, which was launched in London last year, I took this thought and took it 2 steps forward. And I wrote in my book that life is full of choices and life is full of compromises. It seems like a contradiction, but not really. Now, how is life full of choices? See, Khalid, if I ill-treat you, I've chosen to be ill-treated, haven't I? If I treat you with discourtesy, I've chosen to be treated with discourtesy, haven't I? If I light up a cigarette, I've chosen to invite cancer, haven't I? If I drink and drive, I have chosen to invite an accident, haven't I? And if I exercise every day, I've chosen to invite good health, haven't I? If I eat too much every day, I've chosen to be obese, haven't I? Now hear this, colors. If I tell lies, I've chosen to lose my credibility, haven't I? And if I tell the truth, I have chosen to be a credible person, haven't I? See, life is full of choices. Now hear this. We are all free to the point of choice. But after we make our choices, the choice controls the chooser. We have no more choice. I repeat, we are all only free to the point of choice, but after we make our choices, the choice controls the chooser. We have no more choice. Now, how is life full of compromises? In life, we cannot choose the cards that are dealt to us. What we can choose is how we play the game. And sometimes nature gives us a lemon. The choice is ours. Do we cry or do we make lemonade? That's our choice. Now, sometimes people ask me, Mr. Khera, those who are successful in life, people who are successful, don't they make mistakes in life? And people who fail, don't they do positive things in life? And my answer is that people who succeed, they do make mistakes. But remember, making a mistake once in a while does not make anybody a failure. Repeating the same mistake again and again is what brings failure. And people who fail, they do something positive once in a while, but doing something positive once in a while does not bring success either. Repeating the same positive behavior again and again is what brings success. So what is success? Series of positive choices in life is called success, and series of negative choices in life is called failure. And that's about it. It's not complicated. We make it complicated, but it's not. Now, this is step one. Step two, convert your wasted time to productive time. Convert your downtime to uptime. How do you do it? Khalid, before the crisis, a survey was conducted in the US which said an average American watches TV 4 hours a day. 4 hours a day before the crisis. Right now in the crisis, there are people watching 8-10 hours of TV per day. But before the crisis, average American watches 4 hours of TV per day. Now that's not only average American, but average European, Asian, Indian, Australian, everybody, they watch 4 hours of TV per day. So once a friend visited a TV buff completely and asked him, how much does this TV cost you? And he said about $1,000. He said, you don't know how to calculate things in life. He said, have you ever calculated your money value of your time? He said, no, but if I make $100,000 per year, and if I work 2,000 hours per year, my average time hourly rate comes to $50 an hour. And he said, you watch 4 hours of TV per day. 4 hours TV multiplied with $50, that is $200 per day. Multiply 365. for the year. That comes to close to $100,000 per year, which is more than your EMI on $1 million home. He says, you don't know how to calculate things in life. Now, don't get me wrong. We all watch TV. We all like to watch TV, and it relaxes. It's nice. There's a nice movie. But watching 4 hours of TV per day, every day, what are you doing? You are wasting your life. Khalid, are you with me? You're wasting your life. What a way to calculate. Now, in my book, You Can Achieve More. In my book, You Can Achieve More, I mentioned a survey conducted, global survey, which said that 85% of millionaires and billionaires in the world are first generation. Only 15% coming from inheritance. 85% of millionaires and billionaires are first generation. So they were asked, how did you achieve so much financial success in such a short time? How did you do it? And they said, we read books. How many books? 50 books a year. 50 books means 1 book a week. 1 book a week. Folks, look at this. Multi-millionaires and billionaires read 1 book a week. Warren Buffett, read on him, reads 100 pages per day. Bill Gates is an avid reader. And these multimillionaires and billionaires read 1 book a week. What does it tell you? There is a connection between learning and earning and learning and earning and learning and earning and learning and earning and learn more, earn more. There's a connection. And they were asked, what kind of books do you read? And they said, we only read self-help books. We don't read fiction. We have no time to waste. Why? One good idea from a self-help book is worth $1 million. One idea is worth $1 million. And they said, we have no time to waste. Look at this. And now, folks, and I've learned one thing, that a serious reader will never borrow or lend books, never. Many times people tell me, Mr. Khera, I got a great new book. I can lend it to you. I said, don't. Why? Because I won't give it back to you. Why? Because when I read a book, I said, well, give it to me, gift it to me, sell it to me, but don't lend it to me. Because I won't give it back to you. Why? Because when I read a book, I always underline and make notes on the side. Why? Because I learned one thing. Reading a good book once is not good enough. When you read the book second time, Khalid, you don't find anything new in the book, but you do find something new in yourself. When you read it the third time, you don't find anything new in the book, but you find something new in yourself. And the fourth time, the fifth time, the sixth time, you find something new in yourself every time. Now, why do I share this with you? Because Arrow Electronics in the US, $26 billion company, they're my clients. Their managing director attended my program almost 15, 20 years ago. And he said, Mr. Khera, I bought all your books. And I not only for myself, he said, I bought all your books and gave it to all my staff, my people, everybody. And he said, when I took over as the managing director of Arrow Electronics, he said, we had only 2% market share. And he said, today, we have 20% market share, 20% market share. And he said, just during the lockdown period, the last quarter has been the biggest quarter in the history of in the history of Arrow Electronics, $2 billion in sale in 90 days. And he said, Mr. Khera, I have read your book 20 times. Every year, and all my staff has got your book. And he said, we need your book every year. You see, there are many people who tell me, Mr. Khera, I read your book once. I said, you wasted your time and money also. You haven't got anything out of it. There are many books I have read 5, 6, 7 times, 8 times, and I read them again and again and again. Folks, reading a good book once is not good enough. Now, I share this for a very important reason. How do you convert downtime to uptime? See, folks, if during this period, pandemic period, if we have not upskilled ourselves or become more knowledgeable or become healthier and fitter, we cannot blame that we did not have time. I repeat, if during this period, if we have not upskilled ourselves, 2, become more knowledgeable, 3, become healthier and fitter, we cannot blame that we have no time. Now, why I share these 3 things? Khalid, hear this carefully. Because the lockdown came in March. I did my first webinar on April of 8th April. Now, till I did my first webinar, my friend, I did not know how technology, what it was. I was learning to do SMS for my grandchildren. In my life, I had not opened a computer, not done an email in my life. I've not done it. I'm only talking 4 months ago. And since then, I have learned technology a little bit. I'm not an expert, but I have working knowledge. And because of that, right now, the program that I'm doing with you tonight, this is my 109th program in the last 120 days. 109th webinar. And I just done 2 today. And by the way, people are paying us for it. These are paid webinars that people are doing with us. And I'm giving out dates for January right now. It has opened up totally a new avenue for us. So what have I done? I have upskilled, 1. 2, I used to read 20, 30 books at one time, and I dropped the habit. I went back and picked it up again. I'm reading books again. And 3rd, I've lost 6 kilos of weight. I'm exercising every day. Man, I have not felt fitter like this one. I'm enjoying it. What have I done? You need to convert your wasted time to productive time, downtime to uptime. Are you with me? We need to learn to do that. Okay, now step 3. To overcome any crisis in life, learn to build strong relationships in life. You know something? Harvard University did a study which said people who have strong relationships, they live happier, healthier, and longer lives. Now, keep in mind, folks, our biggest asset is not our bank balance. Our biggest asset is our relationship balance. Khalid, have you noticed one thing? That people who have good relationships in life, what they can achieve with one phone call, you cannot achieve with $1 million. Are you with me? One more time, English language I share with you. People who have good relationships, what they can achieve with one phone call, you cannot achieve with $1 million. And I address many business schools all over the world. And in business schools, they're teaching networking. Network. So I met some people, I was addressing a business school, and they taught that you should join Chamber of Commerce, you should join Lions, Rotaries, and so on. Why? So you can network. And you ask them, what is the purpose of networking? They say, well, I'm building contacts. Why are you building contacts? I'm building contacts because someday he could be useful. Someday he could be useful. He's a doctor, he's a lawyer, he's a politician, he's a mafia. Who knows what? Someday he could be useful. Now look at this. Usefulness goes, friendship also goes. Khalid, are you with me? Usefulness goes, friendship also goes. Hear this carefully, Khalid. There's a big difference between building contacts versus building relationships. Are you with me? Big difference between building contacts versus building relationships. We have an office in Singapore. One day I came from dinner and a man met me in the lobby and he said, Mr. Khera, you came from dinner? I said, yes. You met some people? I said, yes. And his first thing was, I hope you met some people who could be useful to you in life. I hope you met some people who could be useful to you. I felt like giving a piece of my mind in something else. His only one criteria of meeting people was what he can extract out of them, usefulness. He does not understand that in life, meeting good people is good enough. I repeat, meeting good people in life is good enough. And Khalid, usefulness is a byproduct of relationship. I repeat, usefulness is a byproduct of relationship. But if people only build relationship because of usefulness, usefulness finishes, friendship goes. I showed you one little example. You see, if I have a friend who's been my friend for 20 years, and tonight if he has a problem, who is the most natural person he will go for help to? Obviously, the friend of 20 years. He's not going to make new friends tonight. Now, is it my duty to help? Yes. Answer is yes. If I help him, am I doing a favor? No. If I don't help him, am I behaving like a friend? No. It is my duty to help. Now, hear this. Helping a friend is a duty of a friend. Helping a friend is a duty of a friend. It is never the purpose of friendship. Because if it is a purpose of friendship, purpose finishes, friendship finishes. Helping each other is a duty. It is always incidental to friendship, never the purpose of friendship. Never, never, never. Now you see, to be able to build relationship with people in life, you need to learn to add a value addition to the other person's life. You must add a value addition to the other person's life. And how do you add value addition? Only by learning to give in life, learning to give. But you see, people who are only takers, they are parasites, selfish people. You can never build relationship with people like that. Now, what I'm sharing with you right now, I've been doing leadership program for the past 35 years with Lufthansa, Johnson & Johnson. My two daughters have done their master's MBAs in US. I don't know of any school and college, what I have shared with you in the last 1 hour, I don't know of any school and college that is teaching this stuff anywhere. I don't know of anyone. And when we do corporate training, we tell our clients, look, what I'm doing in your corporation today is repair work. I'm repairing. Now, if you prepare them, you won't have to repair them. Where do you prepare them? You prepare them in schools and colleges. And sadly, no school and college is doing what we are talking here. But interestingly, I got a call from the dean of James Cook University, the Singapore campus in Australia. And he called me, he attended my program in Singapore. And he said, Mr. Khera, I've been in academics for the past 25, 30 years. And many schools, colleges talk of leadership program. He said, I haven't seen anything like this. And he said, we want you to set up a center of leadership excellence for us at James Cook in Singapore. And they have partnered with us. So we have created a new program for them, for schools and colleges, saying, prepare them, don't repair them. Prepare them, don't repair them. Are you with me? Prepare them, don't repair them. Folks, this is the crucial part, is building strong relationships. Now, folks, I've already gone past my time. I don't know, I believe you have another event after this one. I'm not sure. Am I right?
No, sir, there's no event after this.
So, I mean, I could do a 4-day program, but I've already gone 70 minutes now, 65 minutes. Should I close, or I could go on and on, but that's not what you're here for. It says here, okay. All right. Yes, 7 to 8. So would you like me to wind at this point? And if you like, I mean, I could go on for another few minutes if you like, but otherwise you can take a few Q&As.
Yes, sir, you could go on for another few minutes. It's fine.
Well, are you with me, sir?
So you can go,
Are you with
go on. Yes, sir, you can go on.
All right, I'm going to just quickly. All right, one more thing. I just want to cover this, and then I'll, if you like, we could take a Q&As and so on. Folks, to build strong relationships, a person needs to be emotionally strong person. I repeat, they need to be emotionally strong. You realize one thing, emotionally weak people, you can never build good relationship with them. You know why you can't build? Because they are moody people, they are whimsical people, they are unpredictable people. Unpredictable. You can't trust them. You see, they're imbalanced in emotions, imbalanced in emotions. An imbalanced person, you can never trust them. They're all sugar and honey to you today, and they're all out to catch your throat tomorrow. How can you trust them? Emotionally imbalanced people. You can't. And if you have no trust, where's the relationship? Zero. Now, to good emotional strength, one needs to have high self-esteem. Now, what is self-esteem? Self-esteem is the way we feel about ourselves. When we feel good, the world looks nice, productivity goes up, and relationships are a lot better. And the reverse is just as true. And Khalid, self-esteem is inversely related to egos. Have you seen people with egos like I know it all? What do? They talk down to people, don't they? They put down others, don't they? And every decision they make is more to satisfy ego than makes sense. Now think about it. Why does a human being put down another human being? It is sad but true. There are some people in this world who feel good when the other person feels bad. Are you with me? They feel good when the other person feels bad. They feel superior when the other person feels inferior, which means they don't want to lift themselves up, but they want to pull others down. Are you with me? They don't want to lift themselves, but they want to pull others down. This is sadistic behavior. How can you build good relationship with people like that? You can't. Now, how do you build high self-esteem? Folks, what is the driving force behind high self-esteem? The driving force behind high self-esteem is self-acceptance. And the driving force behind inferiority complex or low self-esteem is inadequacy and self-doubt. Self-acceptance is the driving force behind high self-esteem. Now, what is self-acceptance? Self-acceptance says, I accept myself the way I am, with my pluses and minuses. It says, how I came to this world, I don't know, but I'm here. I'm not perfect. I accept myself the way I am with my pluses and minuses. Now, this doesn't mean arrogance. It doesn't mean take it or leave it. It doesn't mean that's the way I am, that's the way I will be. That is absolutely not. That's arrogance. High self-esteem is the epitome of humility. It says, I'm not perfect. I make mistakes. I made mistakes. I realize my mistakes. I apologize for my mistakes. I seek forgiveness for my mistakes. I'm not proud of my mistakes. I learned from my mistakes. I will not repeat my mistakes. But I am not a mistake. Are you with me? But I am not a mistake. I accept myself with my plus and minuses. Doesn't mean that that's the way I will be. Now, a great example of self-acceptance was, you see, you go to even look at even schools today. You go to school, your major problems everywhere in schools are major self-esteem issues. Bullying, putting down people, pulling down everybody, jealousy, pulling legs. This is all what? Inferiority. Now, what is self-acceptance? You see, example was given by Charlie Chaplin. Once Charlie Chaplin went through Europe, and as he was passing by, he saw a big hoarding saying a Charlie Chaplin look-alike contest. He's Charlie Chaplin, but it was Charlie Chaplin look-alike contest. So, out of sheer inquisitiveness, he decided to participate himself. And guess what? And Charlie Chaplin started thinking, the fake one wins, the real one loses. And he started thinking, well, I'm the only one who knows who the real Charlie Chaplin is here. Rest all look alike. And he said, I should tell them my real identity. I should tell them who the real Charlie Chaplin is. Why should I tell them? Then he started thinking, why should I tell them? Am I here to prove anything to anyone? Am I here to prove anything? He said, I know who I am. I know my identity. I have to prove nothing to anyone. He just walked away quietly without telling anybody who was the real Charlie Chaplin. He said, I accept myself the way I am. Losing the look-alike contest makes no difference to me. I have to prove nothing. I know my identity. This is called self-acceptance. Now, I could go on for a 3-4 day program, and maybe God willing, someday I will come and do a 4-day leadership program to you people, for you people. But let me stop here, Khalid. And I must say your enthusiasm was really, really powerful, sir. And God bless you, sir. And I want to thank all of you people, Mr. Pillai and Mr. Baby Sam, everybody and all the principals. Stay well, in good health, and God bless you. Thank you.
That was simply an astounding speech from Mr. Shiv Khera. Thank you, sir. Most misunderstandings in the world could be avoided if people would simply take the time to ask questions. We now move on to a few queries from our audience, sir. Sir, is skill development or character development important in education?
Sir, I'll tell you one thing. Character development is most important, more than any skill development. If you have skill development, no character development, you will have a skillful crook. If you have a highly skilled doctor, lack of character, he will be a criminal. If you have a great lawyer who does not have character, he will be a good criminal. If you have a judge who lacks character. So keep in mind, before you develop any skill, develop character first. Character first. And then go into your skills. Because All your skill is teaching you how to make a living. It is not teaching you how to live. Are you with me? It is teaching you how to make a living, nothing more. We need to learn how to live, which is more important than just making a living. And that is crucial.
Sir, are leaders born or trained?
One more time.
Sir, are leaders born or trained?
Well, on the lighter side, Khalid, of course they are born. Where are they coming from? They're not dropping from the air. But listen, and that's the lighter side. But yeah, they're all trained. Let me ask you, would you like to be operated by a born surgeon or a trained surgeon?
Trained.
Born surgeon will kill you, man. A born surgeon will kill you. You want to be operated by a trained surgeon. So keep in mind, these are all traits that we learn as we go along, provided we want to learn them. And that's crucial. So they are all learned. Nobody's born with all that stuff.
Thank you, sir. Esteemed guest, Mr. Shiv Khera, Honorable Chairman, Board of Directors, Indian Schools in the Sultanate of Oman, Dr. Baby Sam Samuel, and members on the board, Mr. Ajay Kumar Pillai, President, Indian School Muscat Management Committee, members of Indian School Muscat Management Committee, our beloved principal, Dr. Rajiv Kumar Chauhan, presidents and members of all Indian School Management Committees in the Sultanate of Oman, principals, vice principals, assistant vice principals, supervisors, coordinators, heads of departments, teachers, parents, and students. Good evening. As we draw to the end of this considerably enriching session, I deem it my privilege to propose the vote of thanks. Let me first express our profound gratitude to His Majesty Sultan Haytham bin Tariq for the magnanimous benevolence bestowed on the Indian diaspora in the Sultanate of Oman. May the Almighty shower abundant blessings on His Majesty and this nation. We extend heartfelt thanks to our eminent speaker, Mr. Shiv Khera, for all his words of motivation that is sure to catapult many a despondent mind to take the plunge they had been contemplating. Thank you, sir. Our deepest sense of appreciation and gratitude to Dr. Baby Sam Samuel, Chairman, Board of Directors, Indian Schools in Oman, and members on the Board of Directors, Indian Schools in Oman. Mr. Ajay Kumar Pillai, President, Indian School Muscat Management Committee, and members of Indian School Muscat Management Committee. Our beloved principal, Dr. Rajiv Kumar Chauhan, deserves a special mention of thanks for spearheading Avenir 2020. Thank you for being a pillar of strength, sir. My sincere thanks to the presidents and members of all Indian School Management Committees in the Sultanate of Oman, principals, vice principals, assistant vice principals, supervisors, coordinators, heads of departments, teachers, parents, and students. Words will not suffice to describe the amount of work that has gone into the making of Avenir 2020. My heartfelt gratitude goes out to my Indian School Muscat team for making Avenir 2020 happen. Now, for the 3 lucky winners of Mr. Shiv Khera's books. For the first winner, we have Vedanti Hirani Kandilal of Indian School Sohar. For the second winner, we have Jason Pinto of Class 9A from Indian School Mabela. And for the third and final winner, we have Aditya Sainath of Class 12 from Indian School Muscat. Thank you all for joining us this evening. See you tomorrow for another set of exciting sessions. Signing off from here is Caleb Biju Matthew of Class 11D from Indian School Muscat.
Thank you. Wait, I take a leave. Thank you,
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Wait.